That's different. That's something else is out there, and that we don't have no control over that. So I have the highest of respect for spirituality, the concepts of God, but I'm too smart to know that God is not in synagogues or mosques or churches or anything else. It's between you and that divine presence in the universe. That's where the real trip is.
All right, Jordan Maxwell. Well, I think that concludes this interview. I would like to thank Jordan Maxwell so much for doing this. This will be seen by thousands of YouTubers out there and other people. Educate yourself and free yourself, rule yourself, or someone else is going to rule you. And listen to what this man says. Understand all this symbolism. It will give you a new lens, which you will see the world through, that will make everything else seem different. So take it easy, humanoids.
Okay, it's a wrap.
Hopefully there was one humanoid who saw it.
Yeah, one at least.
You know, of course it is. It's Jordan Maxwell. One humanoid's going to be
Right.
watching. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's quite all right. And I want you to come out and visit me,
I would love to.
because when you do, I'm going to introduce you to my friend.
Okay. Can you tell us about this hemp guy that you're
Say it again?
discussing? Your friend with the hemp growing
Yeah,
operation?
yeah.
We've been working on a hemp growing project for like almost a year now. And we haven't gotten it off the ground because we have not found any legal loopholes that have allowed us to.
Yeah, I know.
do
That's
this
what
in
he's working
California.
on. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think hemp is the peaceful transition.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. His name is Brian, and Brian is probably one of the biggest medical hemp people in the country. I want to take this thing off. I don't want to break it messing with it.
I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, I got it.
So
Yeah. You know, Phil's father is actually a lawyer who has been really instrumental in getting the permitting for these marijuana shops in LA.
yeah.
So they might know each other. Phil's father.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That may be who he's meeting tonight, because he's meeting with all the attorneys and lawyers who are working with the hemp.
So what do you think about,
Jordan, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
say you have a 100-acre parcel of a Lloydal owned land
Yeah.
and you want to grow hemp. Can they
Yeah.
come mess with you?
If it's owned a Lodio, they can't do anything to you because you actually own the land.
Do you need to be a sovereign citizen as well?
I don't know. That's. Let me tell you. I forgot. Let me do
Because we're
this.
serious about this operation. I have somebody willing to become a sovereign citizen and access to land and access to hemp growers and everything else.
Well, look at. I'm going to give you something extremely, extremely important.
Thank you.
This is a document. It's a 50-page document.
Is this
I
the same
would-
one you already gave me?
Yeah.
This? Yeah.
You have one?
No.
I'll give you one. It's a 50-page document. 46 pages explains the document. The document is only about 4 pages long. First 46 pages explains what this document is really all about. This is probably one of the most dangerous documents out there.
Really?
Because it explains for the first time the bullshit, how the world and how the government really works, and how all you've got to do is sign one piece of paper and have 2 people witness it, and then take it to a notary and have them notarize it, and then drop it in the mail. And when you drop it in the mail, I guess you have to send it certified, so they have to sign for it. It's got to be done a certain way, legally, lawfully. But once you've accepted it at the post office, and it's done right, the moment he accepts it, by law, you are now an American. You're no longer a U.S. citizen. And therefore, the United States federal government has no jurisdiction over you ever again. And the California state has no jurisdiction over you ever again. That's big.
You or your land?
You are your land.
Real property.
By law.
So
And
if I
so-
opened up a medical marijuana place,
Huh?
they wouldn't be able to shut it down if I opened up a club?
No.
Okay, well,
Because
the
they have no
implications of this are
jurisdiction
much
over
huger
you.
than a club, though.
They
But
would not-
can
yeah,
you?
well,
But
that's
can
different.
you sell the marijuana in the club?
Well, that's different. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
That's different. But you really got to go out and come out and visit me, or at least I'll have my. I don't know if he's gonna want people know where he lives.
You could
But-
come over to my house anytime you want. You're welcome to anytime.
Say it again.
You could come over anytime
we
you
can,
want
we
to
can
my
meet
house.
anywhere. That's not an issue.
Well,
Okay, awesome.
this
You're always
guy's
welcome.
this guy's the biggest in the state, probably in the country.
What does he do exactly?
He's he grows medical hemp, medical
Medical marijuana.
miracle.
Well, we're talking about industrial hemp for things like
Yeah, I know,
paper
I know,
and
but I'm just saying
concrete
that
and stuff. But it's the same
he's
thing,
into
same
all of
plant.
it.
Right.
I mean, he's
Right.
into all of it, and but he's very, very big. He's got operations, Northern California, Southern California, Oregon. He's very, very big.
How'd you meet him?
He had all of my stuff, and one day I went to a coffee shop. What is that? Starbucks, and he said, Jordan Maxwell. I said, yeah. He said, come over. So I sat over there and talking with him for a few minutes. He said, I've got all your videos. I've been following your stuff for years. And so we sit and talk for a little bit. And he said, well, so what are you doing now? And I said, well, now I'm looking for a place to live. I have to move. And he said, well, I got a house. Why don't you move in there? He said, here. He reaches in, he takes the key off and tells me, gives me the address. There's a 5-bedroom home. There's nobody living in it. And he said, I've had the thing for years. Why don't you go out there and pick a bedroom? You
Oh,
don't
so
live
he's a
up there.
wealthy guy then.
Yeah. So he said, go up there and pick a bedroom. You can live there.
Wow. And he lives there too, or you
Yeah.
live there?
No, he doesn't live there. No, he has his own place with a wife and kids. But he grows there. But he's got all kinds of houses all up and down California and out in the desert and all kinds of places. But he told me, just stay here. You can stay here as long as you want. Live here. Move
Does
in.
he own his land illegally?
Huh?
Does he own his land illegally too?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Probably
I don't
not.
think so. No, because he
He could
didn't
get shut
know
down.
about that. And besides, buying anything allodial, you have to do it right. I know that my car was bought allodial. I know that because when I got it, there's another thing you can do. It's called Corporation Soul. SOLE, Corporation Soul. And that's a very interesting idea too, that the church came up with. It's based on the Vatican.
So
The
you have-
Vatican's property is called a corporation soul. The British then brought it into maritime law, corporation soul. And so in America, we have corporation soul, but most people have never heard of a corporation soul. Corporation soul is a political standing that Americans can do. You can't do it in Europe. Europeans are not allowed to have a corporation soul, only the elite. But Americans, because of the way our Constitution was written, we can, as Americans, have a corporation soul, which simply means for $185, you can open up a corporation soul, and it's like a blind trust kind of thing. It's a trust in which you put everything you own into it, and then you don't own it anymore. The trust owns your property, it owns your home and whatever. Your plane, you put it into this trust and you no longer own it.
But it can be
But
seized
you
from you.
control the trust. So therefore, but the nice thing about the corporation soul is nobody can get into it. No one. The Internal Revenue can't touch it. Federal government cannot touch a corporation soul.
So they'll
And-
look into that before
Huh?
if they find something, they have to look into that to see if.
Yeah.
they have that.
They have to find out if it's a corporation soul, then just leave it alone. You can't touch it. It's
Well,
against
so
the
how
law.
do you get one of those?
Anybody can do it, but because I've been talking about it, a lot of people are doing it. So now it's not as easy. You can still do it. The best one was a corporation soul in Nevada. But Nevada has shut down corporation souls because I went on radio. I used to do I've done late night radio talk shows for years. I used to have a radio talk show in Las Vegas, and at 1 o'clock in the morning in Las Vegas, I'm talking about how to get a guy out of prison. It's very simple. All you've got to do is buy his body, and then you can get him out of, you can buy his body.
For 6 million?
No, it's $50. What you do is you get a UCC form, Uniform Commercial Code form, and you take it into the prison, and you sit with the prisoner, and you say, look, I want to buy you. I want to buy your body under maritime admiralty law. It's called a UCC 1 form. So you give him the form and give him $50, and he's going to sell his body to you.
How are you legally allowed to do that?
Huh?
How are you legally allowed to?
Through under Uniform Commercial Code, because you cannot have slavery,
That's
but
what I was gonna say, it's
but
like
slavery is no. You cannot have slavery, but this is not slavery. This is buying a person. So the idea is that if I buy you, I offer you 10 grand a month, and I want to own you for 10 grand a month. Now, if you accept the money, and you
That's not
sign the
considered
papers,
slavery.
It's true.
then I own you.
You're accepting it.
It's a voluntary association.
It's a voluntary servitude, not involuntary. No one's forcing you. Well, let me finish.
But isn't that like saying like, if I want to commit suicide, it's my choice, But it's still illegal to commit suicide.
Yeah, well, it's illegal to somebody else's law, not to yours.
Yeah.
Illegal to somebody else's law. To hell with them.
Yeah.
Fuck their laws and their mama.
I wish I could quote you on that.
Fuck you, your mama, and your law. But and so he signs the paper, which is saying that that he's selling you his body, and therefore you can now send that copy of that, and it's a very arcane stuff, but you can then send that to the Secretary of State, and they will sign it, stamp it, and then it's given to the lawyer, what am I trying to say? Anyway, it's a legal situation, and eventually the prison will have to allow him to be given to you. You.
And then forever on, is he owned by that man?
That's right.
Wow.
Now, yes, from then on, I own him.
What can you do with that?
However, once he gets out, I said, look it, give me 10 grand and I'll tear the thing up. I'll nullify the contract, because it's my contract, you signed it. But if I tear it up, and I have 2 witnesses that show that I tore up the contract, and you're free, so give me 10 grand and you're free. So I bought you for $50, and you pay me 10 grand after you get out. Also, a lot of people don't know that when you and I had John Gotti contact me, because he said my people in Las Vegas heard about this. Can you tell me about this? And I had John Gotti contact me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and but when a cop gives you a ticket. When you go to Sears and buy a pair of shoes, they're going to give you a ticket, and you're expected to pay it. It's a ticket in commerce. And so when you sign the ticket, then that means you have to pay the ticket, because you signed it. You agreed to it. So when a cop gives you a ticket, it's called a ticket in commerce. So if you, and so he signs it. He writes out the ticket, and he signs it. He signed the ticket in commerce. You are the co-signer in the ticket in commerce. So if you decide you don't want to pay the ticket because you're the co-signer, he has to pay the ticket because he signed it first. You are the co-signer. And as a co-signer, you can say, I don't want to, I was going to be a co-signer for you to buy the car. I don't think I'm going to do that. Now you can't get the car, because why? I'm not going to sign. I'll rescind my signature, and I can do that. And so you were the co-signer on the ticket. And if you decide, you can write a letter, you can take the ticket, photocopy it, send the document